Hello everybody, I'm Jill Robinson, founder and CEO of the Animals Asia Foundation here in Hong Kong. I'd like to first of all say a massive shout out to Gilda Ho and everyone at Vegfest for organising this event online. I think it's incredibly brave and courageous of you all to do that. It's going to take a massive amount of work, I'm sure, and it's great that we can do this instead of meeting face to face as we would otherwise be doing this year because of COVID, of course. So thanks again, Gilda and team. You're doing a great job by doing this and just getting that plant-based message out there for everyone to embrace. I've been asked to talk a little bit about our successes at Animals Asia, and first of all I'd like to shout from the rooftops about Vietnam, because it is there, after signing an agreement with the Vietnam government in 2017, that we are now moving forward to end bear bile farming officially by the year 2022 in Vietnam. The team obviously is so excited about this. It's one of our founding goals, of course, to end bear farming, and not many NGOs can say they've actually achieved one of their founding goals. But we're well on the way to doing this and helping to rescue the final 438 bears that are left on farms across the country. We've already rescued over 630 bears in China and Vietnam, so we well know what we're letting ourselves in for. And this is a massive challenge, of course, for us. We have to build a sanctuary for those bears. But, you know, with the help of people like you watching, I hope that we can do that, because never have we been more committed, because it obviously has a ripple effect to other bear farming countries as well. This isn't something that was achieved overnight. It's very holistic, as all our programs are. We've been not only just working with the Vietnam government, not just rescuing bears, but working with the traditional medicine community as well. And by the end of this year, we have the agreement from them, their association of about 60,000 members, to no longer prescribe or sell bear bile as well. So all these different components are coming together now to finally bring the end of bear bile farming and our wildest dream coming true by the year 2022. Over in China, of course, we also have a bear farming project there as well. We've rescued many hundreds of bears, and we also actually work with field biologists to help bears in the wild as well. We work on human-bear conflict mitigation, so that is, you know, to protect the local community from bear conflict, and in programs that are win-win for both the bears and the community as well. We provide uniforms, we provide infrared cameras to the field biologists so that they can go out there and assess how many bears are out there, you know, what bears are encroaching into the community, and just talk to the locals as well, and so that we can bring all those results to the local government and work out a way that we can protect, again, both humans and bears from conflict with each other. In China too, we are also delighted with another success, and that's after working again for decades with the government, with local NGOs, of which there are now over 200 groups across the country. Amazing groups. And many of you know that in May this year, the Chinese government took dogs and cats off the livestock list. So actually they took dogs off the livestock list, but cats by default were never on it. So this means that both dogs and cats, it's now illegal to sell both those species for consumption as food for the table. And this again is something that fills us with such excitement, because it means that we are now, you know, able to work with the local authorities, with the NGOs on programs of enforcement. Now, look, we know it's not going to happen overnight. We know that many of the traders are still going to want to sell these animals. But if they do, I'm telling you again, after working with lawyers, with local authorities and with central government, that this is now absolutely illegal to sell both those species as food. Again, you know, this success came not overnight by any means. And, you know, again, it's, you know, from people like the local NGOs that have been working so hard in the field, rescuing dogs and cats, and working with the local authorities on things like rabies control, on things like trap neuter release of cats in the community, so that they're no longer seen as a menace, if you like, in the community where they were previously not vaccinated, where they were carrying disease, they were calling at night. Now we're working with the local NGOs to trap, neuter, return those animals so that they've been properly vaccinated, so they've been desexed, and they're not a problem in the community. And of course that they're not a problem in terms of carrying rabies as well. Over the years, our investigations have, of course, shown that the cross-border transfer of the millions and millions of dogs and cats across China for the food industry was a perfect vector for rabies transmission. So that's been another persuasive argument for the Chinese government to be able to, again, to remove dogs from the livestock list. We've also been able to engage the local community across the country into programs where we show that dogs and cats are our friends and not food. And two of those programs, one of them is Dr. Dog, a program we began here in Hong Kong, SAR, in 1991, a long, long time ago, with amazing volunteers that we have on this program, taking their dogs into hospitals and disabled centres and homes for the blind and the sick and the elderly, and showing again that unconditional love that dogs can bring into the community. And another program is Professor Paws, where our lovely volunteers again take their dogs into schools and help to enhance children's reading abilities as well. And this is something, whether it's Dr. Dog or Professor Paws, is showing doctors and nurses and teachers and administrators and just people out there, educators in the community, how much we rely on dogs and cats, and live it harmoniously with them, as being good for our physical and our psychological health. And for those of you that don't know, about how much dogs and cats can help our mental health as well, please don't think I'm crazy. There are papers and papers and papers about this, where it shows that they reduce our blood pressure levels, our cholesterol levels. They boost our immune system by making us feel good. And that's the sort of thing that we are taking throughout the community, especially now in China, again, to show that dogs and cats are our friends and not food. So when you think about that now, one of my favourite sayings is, how is it that one intelligent sentient animal finds its way into our hearts, and yet another intelligent sentient animal finds its way into our freezer? And of course, I'm talking about the billions and billions, in fact, 70 billion land animals that end up on our dinner plates. And how perhaps we should be looking at things a little bit differently now. Now, I'm not, talking about everybody going vegan overnight, but I am talking about the fact that some 70 billion land animals are eaten every year. This is apart from 80 billion fish that are farmed and some 1,000 billion fish that are taken from the wild. These numbers of all these animals is totally unsustainable, as I'm sure everybody realises now. And I'm sure that's why that so many more people now are embracing, moving towards and even adopting a plant-based diet. There's really no excuse. The restaurants, the supermarkets, with such an array of an amazing stuff out there that shows how easily we can replace our current diet with a healthier plant-based regime. So for me, some of the most persuasive arguments is just to go online, is just to look at some of the films like Earthlings that I think, will change you. Earthlings certainly changed me pretty much overnight, from being a vegetarian to being a vegan. When I saw how, for example, dairy cow were treated in the dairy industry, it just broke my heart to see calves being separated from their mothers when they were 2 or 3 days of age, and so that the mother's milk that was intended for that calf could then be sold in supermarkets and for us to drink. And I just looked at the calf when he was separated from his mother, the two of them bawling, just screaming for hours and hours and hours as they were kept in separate pens. And then finally, as the truck took the calf away, the mother actually broke out and she chased her baby for miles down the road. And it just broke my heart. And it just made me start thinking about the dairy industry and putting two and two together and thinking, even though I was a vegetarian, it wasn't enough. I just had to go, just off dairy from that moment, and then realise that looking at it out into the shops at things like soy milk, oat milk, almond milk, amazing substitutes for dairy milk, and you wouldn't even know the difference if you had it in your tea, your coffee, your lattes, or your cereal at all. Things like when I started learning the sentience of chickens and the intelligence of chickens, I know, a friend of mine once said years ago how stupid chickens were, and I remember laughing, and I feel so ashamed about that now, because I know they're not stupid. They are sentient, they have emotional integrity as we have, and they are, mother hens are incredible mothers. They will actually synchronize the hatching of her chicks just by talking to her chicks through the shells. She'll realize if her chicks are cold in their shells because of the cheeps that they're making, the vocalizations that they're doing. She'll recognize that, and she'll turn the eggs around, or she'll shift her body so that she can warm those chickens up. Pigs, again, another incredibly intelligent species that the mothers sing to their babies to calm them down and make them feel safe. Baby pigs love to play. I mean, all of the, as our children love to play, all of these separate incidents of things, you start putting all these things together, and you start realizing that the way that you live your life could be much, much kinder if we only looked outside our own needs, if you like, and realised that our habits are causing such harm, such hurt to this planet. And it's not just about animal welfare, but it's also, things like being able to save money in our wallets by going to a plant-based diet, and certainly saving this environment from the suffocating pollution that it's seeing now as a result. So, I hope that this online Vegfest will give us all lessons on how much more we can do to save this planet. And I hope too that we can see you all face to face next year. I want to thank Gilda and again the Vegfest team for this opportunity, for this platform, and to say it's been an absolute privilege to talk to you for these few minutes. So take care, everybody. Remember, please, the only cure is kindness, and hope to see you in person next year again. Okay, take care. Bye bye, everyone.